This is about how you write the best emails to try and get a job in a studio. Stick around because you won't find this information anywhere else. Charlie T here. Strap yourself in for a long one. Here are some tips and little secrets of how to grab the attention of people that might employ you in their studio. And how do I know this information? Because this is how I got a job in a recording studio. And here's the things that really matter when you're trying to apply for a studio job. Why emails? What is this, 2015? Studio managers are normally sat at a computer in front of their emails. Emails are still the way that studios communicate, and most people email to book and to organize things through studios, so it still matters. And a reply that I got from my original email landed me an interning job in a studio that I eventually worked at for like 6 years, and I ended up as like the main in-house engineer. That said, all studios obviously have socials and are active on them. So definitely try these methods via like Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. But the problem is that most of them are not run by the studio management. They might even be monitored by an engineer or somebody who works somewhere else in the studio. I used to run the socials at Britannia Row where I worked, and I would only reply to messages about bookings. Studio managers, however, are in front of emails all day long. It's definitely worth trying stuff through social media, but you might want to ask for the manager's direct contact email or to be referred to the manager if you can't find that information online already. So not in any particular order, but here's tip number 1. You don't need to know everything. So always remember, the studio isn't looking for someone who knows how to use like a massive SSL console blindfolded, or have like a circuit diagram of a pull tech etched in your brain, or has read every audio forum on the internet. Studios actually don't care that much about experience or your credit list. They also really don't care too much about studios you've worked in before. What they do care about is if you're going to take it seriously. They want someone who's going to fit in with the team, work hard, and then learn the ropes. Don't get me wrong, it's important still to list these, and it's important to tell them of any credits or experience that you have, but I would say that these things are not going to be a deal breaker. They also want to know that you're keen to learn. Tip number 2 is when you're dropping that email, be honest. So my first email said something like, "Hi, insert studio manager's name here. So my name is Charlie, and I'm writing to you to see if you're looking for anybody to help out around the studio, if you've got any intern placements open. I am new to this. I don't have a great deal of experience, but I'm hungry to learn more. And I would love the opportunity to do it around the pros and the amazing team you've got at your studio. I'm a huge fan of some of the music that's been made there. I'm proficient in Pro Tools and Logic, and I've had experience on both like a Soundcraft and a Control 24 console. I'm happy to do whatever you need me to do, and I make a really great cup of tea. I'd love the opportunity to come in and have a chat at some point whenever's convenient." And that's all I said in my original email. And yeah, okay, it worked, but it's more about the fact that it contained the right information about me and what I wanted to do and why I wanted to be there. So tip number 3 is you need to try to be personable as best you can. Don't think of this email as being super formal. The business is about people and personalities. Be funny, be honest, and try and be memorable. So tip number 4 about how to get a job in a studio: do your research on that studio first, which should be obvious. If you're emailing loads of studios, or you plan to email loads of studios, how about you go to the website first and you make sure that you know a few things that have been recorded in that studio. Look on their socials, Google them, find out something that's been made there, find out producers that like to work there, find out engineers that work there. And that's one of the reasons why you want to work there, because this person worked there, or because this music was made there. How cool is that? Whoa, yeah. Look like you've taken the time and put the effort in. Because if you want to work there, they're going to be impressed with that small amount of research. It will take you 10 minutes, just do it. That's how I knew in my email to say, "Oh, I love this that was recorded at Brit Row. Oh, this producer who works there is amazing," because I did my research. Tip number 5 of how to get that job in that studio: find out the manager's name and address them in the email. When I was an in-house engineer, and every now and again I had to cover the office, you would not believe how many emails I saw come through that said, "To whom it may concern, hi there, good morning," no effort. And you also wouldn't believe how many were also CC'd to every other studio they'd emailed. So they'd just done like a blanket email and got every studio in London's email address and put it all in one email and sent it all at once. Don't be lazy. Send individual emails. Tip number 6, make your subject interesting. Let's face it, that's all you've got. that tiny little bit to grab someone's attention. You never know, it might make them read it. Do like a play on words of the studio, like something funny, something quirky, something memorable that jumps out. Come on, how many emails do these studios get every day? What do they all say? I'm looking for an internship, looking for work experience. Boring. Come on, you're going in the creative industry, right? So get creative. Or even just use ChatGPT to help you out. Ask it to like create a pun on the studio name or like a song that's been recorded there that's really famous. Just try it. Number 7 is when you've sent out all of these emails, don't expect very many replies. Don't take it personally. I sent out like 200 odd emails and I got about 4 replies. And all but one of them was a no. Studios are busy places and they get hundreds of emails every day. When I used to work at Brit Row, we would get maybe 30 or 40 emails a week about potential jobs and internships. And the people in these studios, they just don't have time to read and reply to all of the emails they get. 5 years into my job at a studio, I asked my boss why he replied to my email and offered me an opportunity. And he said, well, I mean, I'd just come into the office and sat down and your email just popped up. So that was kind of it. And I was like, oh, well, we need an intern. There's one. He sounds all right. Let's get him in and have a chat. So that's it. It was just timing. It was just good timing. So the more emails you send, the more likely you are to catch someone at the right time. Tip number 8, follow up that initial email. If you don't get a reply, maybe wait a week and then follow up again. And unfortunately, I'm going to tell you to annoy these people, keep following up until you do get a reply. Don't worry too much about bothering people. I've had students ask me this question, oh, but I can't keep sending that email. Why not? Keep sending it. If you're going to annoy people, it might make them reply to you. So just keep sending until you get something. That might be, okay, we're not looking for anybody or, whatever. If they want you to stop emailing, they're going to reply to you. So be persistent. Tip number 9, don't wait for the studio to advertise that they need somebody. Just contact them. You literally never know. But what you do know is if they're advertising for jobs, or a lot of people are going to contact them. When I emailed and got my first job at Brit Row, they just happened to be looking, but that's because one of their main engineers had just decided that he was going to move on and work somewhere else. Literally 24 hours before I emailed them. You just don't know, so email whenever. Tip number 10, after me talking about emails for so long, maybe don't email them. Maybe go and ring on the bell. I'm serious. If you live near enough to these studios, just go and knock on the door. What? Go and talk to someone in real life? Yes. You're going to have to do it at some point, right? The best way to get into a studio is for people in that studio to know what you're like, your personality, and learn what you're like as quickly as possible. Maybe even like print a CV, ChatGPT again for those, or even you could print out an email that you were going to send and turn up, knock on the door and be like, oh, my Wi-Fi was down. I'm sorry, I was going to send you this email. I mean, now thinking about it, I'd definitely give you a job if you turned up and did that. Whatever, be creative. Do you want to know how I know that this works? Well, I hired an intern because they did this. They brought a CV, they knocked on the door and they said, hi, I'm whoever, I'm looking for a job in a studio. And I was like, okay. They came in, they had a chat, we had a cup of tea. 2 weeks later, that was the new intern. Look at that. And we hadn't advertised that we were looking for anybody. Okay, big breath, it's over. There we go. That is some expert tips of how you can write the best email to a studio and how you might get your foot in the door, but also for you to not be disheartened. This is a really competitive industry and those jobs are few and far between. So you have to be persistent, you have to be patient, and you have to keep going. Someone's going to reply eventually, but you just got to keep positive and keep watching my videos because I can give you even more great advice of how you can get jobs in studios. And then when you do get a job, I can also tell you how you keep it. Big love. Bye.